right, now that you've taken a gander at example 5, please remember that example 5 is there for you to look at as you go about these power reducing exercises. You've got 3 of them in your homework, and they're very similar to example 5, okay? The one we're doing is easier in some respects and harder in others. So first of all, I see that I have sine of something being squared. And that power of 2 is something that I want to reduce to the first power. So I'm going to go to my sine squared formula. And it says that it's the same as 1 minus the cosine of double what I started with. Double what I started with. Now, I started with a 2x, and I need to double what I started with. So if I double 2x, what do I get? 4x. Okay, it's twice whatever I start with. So you can imagine this whole thing is a u, and I need to do 2 times this whole thing. Okay, 2 times 2u, or 2 times 2x is 4x. Over 2. And then I've got to multiply that. Again, I have this cosine being squared, so I'm going to use my cosine squared formula. And their u is this thing. Right now is a 2x, and I'm going to go 1 plus cosine of double whatever I started with. So I need to double 2x, and if I double 2x, that's going to give me 4x over 2. All right, so be very, very careful. This whole thing represents the u, and we're doubling it. 2x times 2 is 4x. Okay, now I have a fraction times a fraction. This is 1 minus the cosine of 4x times 1 plus the cosine of 4x. What do we need to do? FOIL distribute, yes. And so we're going to distribute 1 times 1 is 1. What happens with the outside and the inside terms? They cancel out, and we do last times last and get what?
Cosine squared of 4x.
Yes, negative cosine squared of 4x over what? 4. Very good. Okay, so the question is, are we done?
No.
No, we're not. We're not done because we want things to the first power, and we still have a power of 2. So I need to take out and use my formula again. So I'm going to leave everything else for now. And I'm replacing this cosine squared of 4x with 1 plus cosine of double whatever I'm starting with. If I double this, what do I get? 8x's all over 2. And so we have a really great complex fraction. Well, kind of in a way, I guess. Yeah, it is kind of like 4 times 2 is 8. Mathematically speaking, that's probably the horriblest thing I've said. But yes, it kind of does work. 2 times 2 is 4x. Kind of, sort of.
Where did you get 4x from?
I was just thinking about.
So this is my u that I'm starting with. Okay, that matches that.
Okay.
We want to do twice whatever we started with. So we have to do twice the 2x. And that's how we get the 4.
Okay.
All right. So that's how the formula actually works. Yeah. Okay. I'm looking just in my numerator right here. And,
Distribute that.
well, I can't exactly distribute it because it needs to have a common denominator first. So this is 1 is really, isn't it the same as 2 over 2? Okay. So now I do need to distribute the negative. So that gives me 2 minus 1 minus the cosine of 8x all over 2. all over 4. 2 minus 1 is just 1 minus cosine of 8x over 2 over 4. Well, what do we do now? Keep, change, flip. Very good. This is 4 over 1. We're going to flip it and multiply by 1/4. And that gives me 1 minus the cosine of 8x, all divided by 8. This is a perfectly wonderful answer. However, it is not the answer your book is going to see. You're going to see in your book, rather. It says everything is being divided by 8, and we like to write things as products. So they're going to say, hey, that's the same as 1/8 times 1 minus the cosine of 8x. Your book shows answers like this, which is a great answer. Are they different or are they the same?
Same.
It's really the same thing. So when you see an answer that has a factor pulled out of it, all you need to do is distribute it and see if it gets you back to what you have. Okay? So if you need to, you can multiply stuff and see if it is the same. All right, do you have questions for me? Make sure that you look at example 5 when you go to do these couple of power reducing problems. Exercise opportunities, not problems. All right. You guys have CP40. Yeah.